Hi, I'm Tealish, and you're watching Coffee and Clix. Today we're joined by Matt Ventura and Kennie Peña. We're going to be doing part 2 of the Marvel HeroClix Spider-Man Beyond Amazing set review. If you haven't seen part 1, go check out part 1 where we reviewed the commons, uncommons, and rares. Today we're going to be doing the super rares and chases. As always, thank you for supporting me and watching my show or listening in. And please go like and subscribe to this video if you enjoy my content. So let's get right to it. Well, first let me go over the grading scale. So the grading scale for today and for all of our set reviews is 3, 2, 1, or 0. 0 is an herbal tea. That means the figure just puts you to sleep. 1 is a single espresso, which is a not really impressive figure. 2 is a double espresso, which is an impressive or second tier figure, something that might be used casually or in sealed. It might be pretty good, or it's just a pretty good figure, but not quite there yet as a meta piece. And then 3 is a triple espresso, and that is a top tier figure or something that could be used competitively, could actually see play. So we're going to go through all of the super rares and chases of Spider-Man Beyond Amazing and try to give them a rating with myself, Matt, and Kenny. We'll try to do that. So let's take a look at the first super rare, which is Hobgoblin. This is set number 45. Let's start off with Matt. Matt, what do you think of Hobgoblin?
He's all right. Yeah, he would be. I wouldn't be like super excited to pull him in sealed. But he's got the running shot and some energy explosion. Um, Leadership and range combat expert. The Rally 6 is definitely the best thing about him. His shape change with protected outwit. And I'm going to say he's decent for sealed, like 2, but probably a 1 for constructed. Like maybe see some fringe play, but he's more casual. But he's cool. Really, really good sculpt. I like the sculpt. And I like that he gets the pumpkin bombs for free.
Yeah, Kenny, what do you think?
No, I think Matt hit all the points there. I do like the sculpt. I'm not in love with the pose. It looks like he's waiting for the bus while on the glider, but it's still pretty cool. The dial is a little ho hum, but it's serviceable. Running shot, energy explosion, all that fun jazz. There's not a whole lot of leadership in this set, so yeah, he's a super rare, and it's not like you're hoping your super rare is a leadership, but if he's the only source of it, it ain't too bad. There's not a whole lot of flyers in this set either, so that also has it going for him. That being said, he's still probably a double espresso and sealed. Constructed, he's like, I don't know, half an espresso shot, somewhere between 0 and 1, because, yeah, that rally, if you're really courageous and you want to swap him in and you really like your D6 rolls and you're rolling hot, he can be quite annoying. But that's as far as I go when it comes to constructed.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you. I think maybe he sees some fringe play in constructed, but not really. I think maybe like a 1 in constructed. He does have the leadership, so if you're playing Syndicate or something like that, maybe, and you need leadership, he does have, he's better in sealed, maybe a 2 in sealed. He does have the flying. He does have leadership. Those are both kind of rare in this set. So, 12 attack energy explosion. He does get the pumpkin bombs for free. So, I'd say give him like a 2 in sealed, 3 if you pull the pumpkin bombs, and maybe a 1 in constructed. Well, let's take a look at the next figure, which is the next super rare, which is Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Octopus is set number 46. He's got a long dial. he generates these Ock arms. I think I'll show them on the screen here, the Ock arms, just so you can see them. Giant Reach 3 at the end of any action. If Ock arm is not adjacent to Dr. Octopus, KO it. They have 11 attack with 3 damage. And Quake. Kenny, what do you think of Dr. Octopus? He could be 100 or 50 points.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a triple espresso all the way around. Definitely in sealed. Leadership, long dial. He kind of generates his own mastermind fodder. So if you're looking for a good sealed piece that can hang around and just annoy, tie up, and deal damage, he really does encompass all of that. And it's funny, it's a very simple, deceptive dial, but it's effective. He has 3 traits. The rally helps him generate the fodder, or lets the fodder hit you just as hard, because the Ock arms, they got some stats. Doc Ock himself, he has decent stats, but he does tail off if he does take damage, and that's when he's going to lean into the bystanders. Again, leadership is great. Perplex is great. He can empower the bystanders to hit even harder. He has a really cool trait if you pull others into 6 where they can use Masters of Evil. So if they start ganging up on Spider-Man, they actually start with close attacks. They can start getting some defense down on him and just making it that much easier. In Constructed, all of these apply where he is a deep dial, whether he's 100 points or I guess 50, he's still pretty deep. He can make his own mastermind fodder. There's a lot of potential here where he just does enough for the points that he's bringing. The bystanders are also packing their own punch. For me, he's just a triple all the way around, both ways.
All right, Matt, what do you think?
I think the same thing as Kenny. I think he's a really cool dial. He's a cool character with a cool dial here, done differently than we've seen. Like, generating 4 bystanders at the same time is like nobody does that. So you're getting like a better value like at 50, like for Constructed, even though you're not getting the Empower. But I guess it really depends what your build's trying to do. But I could definitely see both point values. Like 100's awesome too. The Quake is really relevant on the Ock arms with all the barrier nowadays and busting through walls and stuff. And then he's carrying them all through like a sidestep to like, say, bring the back 2 that didn't make attacks yet, like, forward and just fill in space and just be awkward. And he also pairs really well with other characters that have mastermind, like team him up with like, in casual, like the Kingpin, Sinister Syndicate, but the Chief, like, are in Constructed, like, my brother was thinking like it would be fun with like Larfleeze, because they're non-standard characters. So Doc Ock could just move away, leave one behind, and that would heal Larfleeze. And then he can, generate a new one. He's really cool. I'm with Kenny. I'm 3s all around.
Okay, yeah, I think so. I wasn't completely sold on him in Constructed. I know for sure he's good and sealed. The only thing that made me hesitate with Constructed was, he's a large point expenditure at 100 points, and I know you're getting probably more value at 50 points, but then I don't know if he's solid enough at 50 points to be like a 3. I don't know. I guess he's just kind of something that you have to really play smart and finesse with him, because he's not like a straightforward piece. Carrying those bystanders around. But yeah, I mean, he's good. I've played with him a couple times, and I like him. I think I would maybe give him a 2 in Constructed. I'm not sure. Maybe, but definitely a 3 in Sealed.
Like 4 arms, and they all have invulnerability with just printed 11-3.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just, to me, it's.
But like at 100
4 of
points,
those,
he's
right?
so easy to like outwit his mastermind, and then just like.
He's definitely a
Yeah.
finesse piece. I do get your point, Tony, where, you know, the answers to stop him are simple, and they can be simple. But if you don't, and he's able to set up what he wants to do against you, I feel like the ceiling is much higher than the floor, and that's where you see the value and see the potential, and you just assess the risk reward, and it just seems like the reward is worth the risk that you may incur.
Yeah. I just see like the ways like to get around him, you know, like are somewhat specific. I mean, yeah, there's like pulse wave. You'd have to have like penetrating EE or quake or whatever. You could mind control him. You could knock him back. Like there are ways to do these things, but you're also committing one of those, you know, things on. Let's say you're playing him at 50 points, as opposed to committing that to something else, and then he still has a 6-click dial. So it's still not, you're still not getting through it easily.
Yeah.
So to me, that's where I see it is you're committing a lot. Like, I'm not going to compare him to Sakari and Iron Man, but
Yeah.
similarly, you have to commit a lot.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And in Constructed, I mean, we haven't looked at him yet, but I don't think you're not playing him with Iron Spider Prime.
Oh, to give him the protected outwit.
The protected outwit. I mean,
Yeah.
protecting that mastermind is like
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at the next figure then. All right, so here we go. The next figure is look at that. Okay, no, we have the non-prime first. So
Yeah.
Can't jump ahead. All right, so we have the non-prime, which is Iron Spider non-prime, set number 47A. He comes in at either 125 or 65 points. So, Matt, what do you think of Iron Spider?
I love him. I would be psyched to pull this in sealed, and I would 100% run him at 125 points. I want that 4 damage. I want that 12 attack. I want that precision strike. I want that, 10 speed. So I can get a 5 square reach on that. I think it's cool. I don't think it's quite there in like competitive. So I would say triple and sealed. His defense power not having protected outwit would concern me for constructed. So he's probably more like a 2 for me there. But he's still really cool, and I just really like him at his high point value more. Yeah.
Kenny?
Yeah, I think he's good. He's very, very good. I still think he's probably a double in sealed. Let me put it this way. He's probably a triple at 125. He's a double at 65. So I do agree with Matt there, where if you are going to play him 125, I think it's the best bang for your buck. And that's not a very common thing we say around here. Usually it's always play low. I think he's better at high here. There's nothing really much more for me to add when it comes to sealed. You see him, he's very straightforward. He's going to get in there and just, stab people with your Waldos and get as many KOs as you can. When it comes to constructed, I think Matt, once again, is right, where he's just lacking certain things. We're getting to a point where there's a lot of power negation or mitigation. And, if you don't have protected outwit, you don't have access to some of the TAs, or you don't have access to protect what your kit does, you kind of fall off real fast. He is a good candidate for be a Herald of Galactus. I'm not saying that's what I would recommend, and that's going to be the new meta. But if you're really committed to the Spider-Man, which is a great sculpt, good dial. You know, you can I think you can find some success there. That's pretty much all I can add there. I would say he's a single in constructed. I would love to say higher, but I don't want to lie to you guys. I really don't. I will say this. I am disappointed that his name is Iron Spider. We have so many cool abilities that are starting to check names for Spider-Man. He's clearly Spider-Man. I think it would have been nice if he was just named Spider-Man and could have been part of the whole Arachnite or Spider Supreme nonsense when he get KO'd, but oh well.
Yeah, so that is a good point. I never really thought about that, but yeah, I think in sealed he's, you know, I've played against him in sealed, and I've also played him in home games. He's kind of a beast with that, especially at the 125 point line, like you're both telling me. You know, he dishes out a lot of damage. He's got the precision strike, which really helps in this set. You know, the multiple attacks. He's got up to 3 sometimes. He's got a long reach because he can do the wall crawler trait, which is placing him 4 squares on a different elevation within line of fire, and then after on top of that, he can charge and flurry, or if he doesn't need to use charge, then he can power action to make 3 attacks. So he's got a long reach. He's got, like, there's so many things on his dial, especially in sealed, that even if you have like an outwit on your team, you don't know what to outwit, because, you know, if you outwit his defense power, he still has shape change, and he still has the Spider-Man TA. Or if you outwit his speed, well, you probably would want to outwit his speed power, I guess. But you know, you might not be able to, because he might be too far away from you, and he might be coming in with his wall.
Or he could be a Herald of Galactus.
Or yeah,
this whole conversation's done. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in constructed, like, if you're like, you know, Kenny made a good point about just giving him the Herald dial or something like that. I think he's right though. In constructed, he's probably like a 1. I don't think you're gonna really see him too much. Unfortunately, there's just too many things. Yeah, there's just too many things in constructed that can take him out. But sealed, he's really good. So I'd say 3 in sealed, 1 in constructed. All right, let's take a look at the Prime version of him, Iron Spider Prime. So he is set number 47B. Comes in at 75 or 30 points. I'm assuming in constructed you probably run him at 30. I don't know what you guys think. Kenny, what do you think about Iron Spider Prime?
I mean, I do think he's very solid for 75, but in this constructor world, you want to get as much juice as you possibly can out of every single point you're investing to your team. So he's a 30-point play for sure. Let's do the easy thing first. Sealed, he is probably the best sealed you can pull in this set, and he's a super rare prime, so there's nothing wrong with that. He just does a lot of things. He literally has like 14 standard powers at once. Not really, but he has a lot, and they're all very useful. You charge, flurry, plasticity, stealth, leadership, outwit, shape change. You know, that's a lot. There is equipment in this set, especially in sealed, so the damage power can come into play when it comes to turning it off. That's going to be more in play when it comes to constructed, though. And then we have the killer trait here, friendly characters have Synergy Syndicate, which is amazing. If we just ended the trait there, that's an amazing trait, but there's more. If they already have it, they get Safeguard Outwit. So that's what a lot of these other characters really need, like that Dr. Octopus and, you know, others, especially in this set, who are missing that just little extra.
And it applies to himself, too.
It does apply to himself because, you know, he has 214 standard powers, so he wants to protect them all. Yeah. And he's definitely, you know, a magnet for kill box teams where you want to play him at 30 points. You want to maximize all your attackers as close as you can. Get 12 attack, 13 attack, whatever attacks you want to share. Get them in there. Utilize it. If you can, and be greedy, play him with Wanda Maximoff, 19 defense. As long as you're just bringing your team all over the map, you know, just maximizing your attack, maximizing your defense, that is probably the simplest way to play him. I'm sure there's many, many other ways you can play him and it's going to be maximized, but he is absolutely a triple shot for constructed. He is absolutely a triple shot for sealed. He's a quadruple shot for sealed. And yeah, that's, Matt, sorry, I probably talked way too much about it, but go ahead. Anything you want to head on?
I know. No, he's he's pushing his way into my favorite figure of the set. Like he's just so cool and he brings so much. I'll put it this way. In my opinion, if he was not a prime, we would be talking about him like he's Venom Magneto. Like he's bringing that much, like global Sinister Syndicate TA, like global attack replacement that works on your constructs that have 10 attack, chainsaws and stuff. Your boots are, sub that with like a super rare Flash's 12 attack, which is really easy to do because he's 30 points. And now they got a 12 attacks. Being a prime obviously hurts his consideration for constructed, but I do think it's worth it. I think it's something you build around. But you are losing your destroyer or Mad Jim or whatever. But I think he's up there. I definitely think he's in like the top 5. Wonder Woman and Batman. He might be 5th to me. Maybe that's recency bias, but I think he's so cool. And 30 is definitely where it's at. It's not wrong to play at 75, but 45 points there for 1 speed, 1 damage, and invincible. When you're not really using him as an attacker, you're using him for all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I think 30 is where it's at, but he's so cool.
So, let's see, Destroyer, Mad Jim, Wonder Woman, Batman, Iron Spider. That's like the top 5 primes.
To me, like that fits.
And then we haven't even talked about Kingpin, which we're gonna get to another foreshadowing. But.
Yeah, he is cool too. I just, man, like I just think that handing out the Sinister Syndicate TA and then just having a lot of powers and then also being a leadership outwit.
Not disputing that list at all. Just it's funny we're leaving out the Vision from Disney Plus, who's also a phenomenal prime. So it's just nice to see how much competition there is for that one spot.
I agree. It is good. It's good to see.
All right. Yeah. So I agree with both of you. 3s all around for this Iron Spider. Let's take a look at Vulture. Vulture is set number 48. He has a lot of like movement capability. I mean, his rally die, he can remove 1 to move up to 6 squares. So that's a move. So that means he can carry somebody while he's moving. If you just remove his rally die, it's a free movement for 6 squares. Almost the same as like sidestep for 2 squares. Only this would be for 6. And then after resolutions, you may choose a standard character he moved through or adjacent to during this action and place that character adjacent to him. So he can carry someone, and then he can also
drag someone.
drag someone. So you can almost get like 2 characters with him, or you can drag an opposing character because it doesn't say friendly or opposing. So there's a lot of tricks you could do with a lot of shenanigans you could do with this Vulture. Who goes first on the Vulture? Who do you?
Me.
I think it's up to Matt. Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
So constructed herbal tea or 1, like it's not happening. This is no Vulture Prime. But I think he actually is a 3 in sealed. As an attacker, he's fine. He's solid. He's like a 2. Like he's decent. A 12-4, maybe pick up some, object or blocking or whatever, go up to that, 5 or 6 damage or something. But what's important is that there's not a ton of flyers, and he's also a flyer with sidestep. So he's just he's just really good. Extra utility, and the improved movement characters is also really important. So I feel like he might be a 3. Like, to me, like a sidestep flyer is just so good, and the energy shield is actually really relevant too. Park him in some hindering, and he's just a 20 to try and shoot him, and not much more is gonna have. Not much else in the set is gonna have better than 6 speed charge to get him. So yeah, I think he pushes into like at least a 2.5 in sealed to me. I faced one and I thought he did a lot.
Yeah, interesting. Kenny?
I'm gonna agree. I think he can be a triple in sealed, but he requires a play style that most people are not going to enjoy. I actually think even in a small map world, you get a big lead and you have this vulture. It's hard. It's hard to track him down because he can fly, he can carry, he ignores characters. He can also drag a friendly character, so he's essentially carrying 2 people. I know it's not necessarily carrying, or he can kill box an opposing character closer. There's a lot of utility, versatility there. It's interesting that he has super strength. You don't think of super strength on Vulture unless it's the prime Vulture, but no one ever used super strength on that one. And in this whole terrain placement world, that's a big deal, especially with sidestep. So there's a lot of shenanigans you can do, like placing an elevated terrain into a starting area and getting around first turn immunity. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans you can do. He's probably not the best proponent of that, but it's again, the more outside of the box you think, and he does have some of the the powers necessary to pull some of these tricks off. I'll say he's a single in constructed. Unfortunately, he can't take a hit, and in constructive, you can't take a hit. Well, bye. But if you play a homebrew game or play something that's like a little semi-competitive and whatnot, he actually can hold his own weight. He is very, very good. He's sneaky good, and nothing more to add there. I would say double sealed and single constructed.
Yeah, I would say double sealed, single constructed. That the sidestep flying is really good for him. I did pull him in a sealed event. I mean, I pulled 2 of him, so I got the booster with the two vultures. So I played them both, and
that's not annoying at all.
Did a lot of shenanigans. There was one point where I carried someone with Empower, and then placed the other character next to him. But then that character made an attack, so I did 2 attacks, because when he drags when he drags somebody with him, that person can make an attack if it's a friendly, because it's just a placement. So I did a lot of cool stuff with him with the vulture, circling vultures, I guess, right? But he was very squishy, right? As soon as he faced anything with charge flurry, he just died. Right? So I mean, and that's what he wants to do too, is get in close, right? But then he wants to fly away, but he's a close attacker, not a range attacker. So even if he is I found myself carrying people up very slowly, sidestep carry, get closer, hide in the hindering with the ESD. But then once he makes that initial attack, he's kind of vulnerable. But he's good. He was a good figure. So I'd say two in sealed, 1 in constructed. I kind of agree with you guys on that one. Let's take a look at SPDR. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, or is it just Spider? SPDR, SP /double/DR. Very cool sculpt. This, I don't know if you've seen this. All the sculpts are really good.
Ginormous sculpt, yeah.
The sculpts are really good. The super rare sculpts just look awesome. The Vulture looks awesome. SPDR looks awesome. So, Kenny, what do you think about this SPDR figure?
I mean, it looks beautiful. It plays beautifully, too. It's a very strong dial. It's easily a triple sealed. espresso shot here. You got 8 clicks, good defense values. And she's cosplaying a Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, so that's always a good thing there. Um, it's funny. It's just a simple trick, but it's so damn effective. Really great values. And when she gets KO, she's technically not KO. There's like a little mini game. You have to play with Penny Parker that you can bring her back. A trait that just lets her heal 1 click, beginning of your turn. There's a lot going for her here. The solid play. It's triple and sealed. Constructed, I think she kind of falls into the same things that we were talking about with a non-prime Iron Spider. We see that the dial's there. We see that the powers are solid. It's really coming down to, does that invincible hold up? It can easily be outwitted. It can, and then once she loses it, now you have all this penetrating damage to get through the other parts of her dial. So it's unfortunate. I do think she's. I think she's an herbal team when it comes to constructed. Sadly, I don't like saying that, but I just don't see how she fits in that format.
Matt.
Yeah, I like triple for sealed. She's just too hard to take down, and she's getting good range values, and the invincible's nice. Like plus, and you come up close. She's got the CCE. I feel like it could be there in constructed. Like I like that she's a standard size character, so she can be equipped with something, maybe more defensive, not healing because she can't be healed by any other game effect, but maybe maybe some shape change, warlock sword or something. But I don't know, like that is really annoying that after chewing through 8 clicks that start with invincible, you get a protected pulse wave pop out, and then you got to deal with her. So depending on how many actions it takes you just to KO the robot, the suit, it could almost be there. I don't know. I'd have to see the team, but I feel like there's potential. Maybe that's like an after rotation thing where it could be more potential, but I have a little more hope here. Okay. It being protected pulse wave is definitely important there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would maybe give her a 1 in constructed. I've heard some things, like somebody said something about like equipping her with the Skybreaker, where like she gets like,
right,
she gets like 4 attacks or something like that. So that has some like interestingness to it. Like you probably could do something with that. But yeah, I'd give it a 1 in constructed, probably a 3 in sealed. All right, let's take a look at the next figure, which is and here's Penny, by the way. I'll show Penny the bystander up on the screen.
She's she does have outwit, which never a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Takes her 2 turns to get over there, unless you got a TK handy. She's gonna move 4 squares, and then the next turn
you have a vulture handy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at Carnage. Carnage is the next figure in the set. He's set number 50. 75 points. 0 range, 2 targets. Moves through elevated. Has a rally trait. Has charge, flurry, and giant reach 2. Protected outwit. Super senses, toughness. Regen is free, but only if an opposing character took damage this turn. Matt, what do you think about Carnage?
He's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie. Also, starting with 1 symbiote that you want, one or the other. I don't know what I would prefer. Probably stealth, the black one. But he's kind of sick. Like flurry. charge flurry, protected outwit, like sure. Big attack values, like exploit to get through stuff, and then like free healing, like a deep enough dial. It's probably not there for constructed, but like pretty solid casual piece, and there's a good sealed piece, like even without the symbiote, like because he's got the reducer with the rollout, so and he's got that speed power the whole dial, so he's always got move and attack, and you can't stop him. So I'm at like it might be a 3 for sealed. He's always got move with double attack, always got good attack values, always got good damage. He's probably a 3, and then more like a herbal tea for constructed.
Yeah.
And Kenny?
Yeah, I gotta agree. If he had a lower starting line, maybe the Sinister Syndicate keyword to fit in that archetype. I know that wouldn't be exactly comic accurate. I think we would have a different conversation when it comes to his constructed score, but he's probably an herbal tea the way he is. But this is a very good iteration of Carnage. Just reminds me of like Maximum Carnage. He is, he's got protected outwit on his speed power because he doesn't care if he gets her. He just wants to murder you. And like that is his goal. That is his emphasis, and he does it quite well. Matt didn't even talk about the rally, which is just it's just gravy. With the rally, rolls a single d6, remove one of his rally dice to use it as a result. So he's a rally opposing 6, so he could just make sure any blades rolls a 6. He could use it for super senses too, and that comes in handy. He does
or regen.
have it.
That's true.
Or regen. So again, another simple design, but super efficient, super effective. So triple and sealed. If you like to just go in there and not think too hard of positioning and tactics, Carnage is your guy. It's a shame though in constructed he doesn't hit a high mark though. So because I really do like I do like how he looks.
Yeah, I would give him a 3 in sealed. I love his flavor. Maybe a 1 in constructed. I was thinking if you run him with the Herald dial, because that's what he needs to protect it outwit on his defense power, I think. But I don't know. Not even then. That's like 100 points to spend on. I don't know if it really does it for constructed. So I tend to agree with both of you guys.
Maybe like in silver, getting 2 Mandarin rings now. Like if you did like Nightbringer and Remaker, like you get stealth, you generate your own hindering, and you get shape change and poison. The reason I like shape change is because it gives him an additional single D for his rally, single D6. Like that could be, if you got him and you're on a budget, and you got some rings, I could see it.
Listen, he's good enough where you could squeak out a win or two. Is he going to win you a tournament, a big tournament? Probably not, because you have to look at his point cost too. They're 75 points. There are just a lot of different figures, especially in silver, that just probably do a whole lot more or break more rules of the game, where he's very efficient. He's not really breaking any rules. He's
just a charge flurry piece. There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
And if you want to charge flurry fleece, you can pay 25 points less and get a sky tyrant. So when you start looking at those things and the arguments why not to play him, unfortunately they stack against his favor.
Yeah, but that's in constructed. If you're playing casual, then go for it.
Oh yeah, paint the town red.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the next figure, which is Madam Webb. Madam Webb is 30 points. Quite the utility. Kenny, what do you think about Madam Webb?
So, probably not the most exciting super rare that you pull in sealed if you're looking for a raw power and things like that. But she is a very, very good sealed tool. She is definitely still a triple espresso when it comes to utility. So I can see how people might be not too happy about it for monetary purposes, but for value purposes and for the actual event that you're playing in, she fulfills that role. She's a short dial, but she's just there to keep your guys alive. She's just there to make sure that they're getting their attacks in. Being able to prob multiple times is always a good thing. She's doing it for 30 points. She has mystics, so she's not going to last long, but you're taking damage if you hit her. She has the rally effect here. Even though she's not synergistic, she does have a rally 6 to help Spider-Man family keyword characters hit their super sense rolls. Traveling to a universe could come in handy if you got tied up or someone put a lot of blocking in your way. I don't think there's a whole lot of barrier in sealed, and you can't really place big terrain markers in sealed. So, but for the few people that can, could get you out of a jam. So she does enough. She's definitely a triple espresso in sealed. Constructed, I think she's a single. Again, in a non-TTPC world, prob is a little bit more of a premium. She does fit the keyword, which, Spider-Man family could turn into like 25 other keywords. So if you still want to play theme, which she does want to do because that damage power does require you to target a character Spider-Man family keyword. So if you're going to go out of your way to do it, there's a reason to do so there. And then the second trait, traveling universal web, that improved blocking characters actually does come into play a little. That is much more useful in constructed. I still think she's only a single, and that's only if you're playing Spider-Man family. That's probably where I leave it there. And Matt, go take it away.
I don't know. I think I see her potential a little more for constructed. That rally dies. She brings a lot of unique things. I don't think that we would see her a lot, but I think that she brings a lot for a team that has Spider-Man family. Her rally day is really strong. That's global. She could be on the other side of the map and auto hit a super senses for someone. And that rally is not tied to Spider-Man family. So if you got someone with a Wonder Woman team ability, that would work with that too. And then, the trait, the getting to blocking characters, and then, like you said, a world without theme team prob, just having prob, even if it's just once, on a Mystics traded super senses character with Spider-Man TA and stealth and reflexes. She looks pretty decent to me. She's no Felix Faust, but I don't know. Maybe again, this is maybe after rotation. She looks a little more solid to me. But I like her. I could see it as a double on the right team.
Yeah, I think she's a 3 in sealed. She's really good in sealed. Having prob. I think in constructed, I'd put her at a 2. I think the rally is global. It's a really good rally trait that she's got. Even if you're not playing theme and you just have one Spider-Man family character, if you're playing Arachnite on your team or something like that, she pairs really well with that because, or any of the other variously good Spider-Man family keyworded figures that are in this set. You could play, you might have one of them on your team, and then she can double prob. Targeting that character, so that's really good, giving your Spider-Man family. If you I think she goes good with Arachnite because you can make him move through blocking, move through characters. You can do the double prob, there are other characters like the in this set that also have Spider-Man family that are really good to have on your team. It doesn't necessarily have to be a theme team. And if you are playing theme team, that's even better. You know, if you're playing Spider-Man or Mystical or whatever it is. So I think she's a 2 for constructed. I would say on like Matt said though, on the right team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next figure after Madam Webb is Venom Thanos. Venom Thanos comes in at 250 or 125 or 50. And he's got a lot going on for him. Quite a bit of text. So Matt, you want to talk about Venom Thanos for us? I don't know what I never know when to say Thanos or Thanos. I don't know. Like I say it both ways. Like I don't know.
I hear Thanos more in the MCU, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think before pre-MCU it was Thanos, and then like once MCU came out, everybody started saying Thanos. I don't know if that's true.
When I played Marvel superheroes in the arcades, he would always say Thanos reigns, and that was like
okay.
That was 98 or 6. I forget when that game came out.
All right, so that's definitive then, right there.
There you go. Conversation over.
You heard it here. Yeah. You heard it here. This is the first time.
Unless my pulls and sealed are like insane and I just really want to run other stuff, like I'm playing him at 250, like he's just an absolute beast. 3 stop clicks, hyper, you get just better values and better reach, and it's just worth it in sealed. I think people have a tough time taking him down, and he's going to be getting some points in for sure. And I like that he has 3 targets too. Better chance at in a sealed set with a Spider-Man sealed set. You punch 3 guys with super senses. You know, you hopefully one of them miss, and you can get that 4 damage through. And then I think I see it maybe for constructed. I mean, 50 points is a lot. You know, compared to like, I guess like utility and dial wise, I would probably compare them kind of something to like APOC or Genesis, like 3 clicks with a stop click, kind of thing. But he does have, you know, traded senses. He's protected outwit and willpower with the cosmic energy, and he's bringing your leadership. And then he's also can potentially, with the universe will be ours, choose one to your next turn. If he succeeds in leadership, friendly characters, a symbiote or monster. So I would, if you want to get used to that trait, do a symbiote or monster theme team. Because handing out your whole team probability control or shape change would be the big 2. But I mean, close combat expert and steel energy are pretty relevant too. Like, especially like a symbiote or monster, you have a lot of, you know, things that you want to heal back up, and then also just extra damage and attack could be relevant. So I really like this in silver with the Doom Castle map bonus to reroll the leadership. So yeah, I'm probably like a double for constructed. I could see it.
Yep.
Kenny, do you agree?
I do agree. I do think he's a triple in sealed. I do think all his blinds in sealed are. I think 50 is more of a double in sealed. A little bit harder to get the right pulls that you would need. Most of the monsters and symbiotes are going to be higher rarity. So if he's your high rarity pull, chances are you're not having too much to work with. He's still really good at 50 in sealed if you like. I think 125 is probably what you want to target. But like Matt said, you know, if you play him at 250, you're probably still going to have a good time and have great success. But in constructed, I do think we focus more on the 50 line here. And like Matt said, it's really coming down to how you want to maximize the symbiote or monster keyworded characters on your team, whether it's a theme or not, and having access to some of these powers if he hits his leadership. And then, like Matt also said, finding different ways to enhance your leadership role, whether it be the Doom capsule map or tarot cards that increase your single D6 rolls or leadership rolls. One of that Star Trek figures, I forget his name, that allows you to roll the leadership roll. I can't remember his name. Yeah. There's a lot of different little quirky ways you can do it. I do worry that you start investing too many points into it to make this work, but it might be worth it if you have an army of Groots making walking woods, and all those Groots have probability control because you hit your leadership after they retaliated, and etc. Like, you go down the path and you just see how great this could be. And, it could also not happen because you just didn't hit your leadership roll. But if you are going to play him in Constructed, it's probably a 50 points. At 125, he's not a terrible beat stick, but at 125, you need to do a lot. And in a world of Sky Tyrants and other things like that, I don't know if he brings it. He's still probably a double in Constructed. I do agree with that rating. Definitely a triple in Sealed, where 125 is the sweet spot that you want to do for Sealed.
The Star Trek piece is Ensign Crusher.
Thank you.
He can be played at 25 points and does also have Perplex.
Nice. And he's cosmic, or is he cosmic, by the way? Or
Scientist and Starfleet. I think if you start him at 50 points, he gains cosmic.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I mean, this Venom Thanos, he's Sealed. He's definitely a 3. I would play him at 125 also. 250 would be like the fun way to play him. I think he would do fine at 250. But I've played him at 125, and he's a pretty good beat stick at 125 as well. Constructed, I would definitely play him at 50. He's got some potential. I'd probably give him a 2 in Constructed. Don't forget that he gets to pick that prop power no matter what. Even if he doesn't hit his leadership, he still gives it to himself. So, he gets to at least have outwit and prob, or outwit and something every turn. You just, as long as you remember to activate the free action to do that. So I think he's really good. I think he's a really good piece. He's got great keywords. If you're running Symbiote or something like that, you can run him with, once we get to the Carnage chases, he goes well with any of the symbiotes in this set, so I think he's a good piece. Give him a 2 in Constructed. All right, let's take a look at Green Goblin. This is the non-prime version of Green Goblin. Set number 53A. Comes in at 100, 75, or 40 points. And it's got kind of a long dial at 100. Actually, even at 40, he's got a pretty long dial. 5 clicks. He's kind of reminiscent of the Empire Captain America. He has the Form the Sinister Syndicate trait, where he has traded leadership, and you can replace figures. He's got the swap trait, kind of like a swap trait, where you can swap Sinister Syndicate figures out for figures on your sideline. Kenny, what do you think about this Green Goblin?
So we kept on mentioning in the last video and in this one about, Form the Sinister Syndicate. So here we are finally to the character that enables that. And it's a unique ability. It's pretty good. I don't think it's world breaking top of the meta, but it's definitely something that to consider. Because of that, he is likely a double in Constructed. It's time will tell to see how that shakes out. In Sealed, he has to flight, he has the leadership, which is, that's where all the leadership and flight hit in this set, in the Super Heroes and higher. He's not bad. He has good values. He has deep dial. I think you want to play him at 100 or you want to play him at 40. I don't think 75 is what you want to do. It's not awful, but I think you get more bang for your buck when you start with running shot with this character. He's he could be a triple. I'm gonna say he's 2.5 in sealed. That that Form of the Sinister Syndicate trade is not going to get you a whole lot of mileage when it comes to sealed. There's other characters, some in lower rarities, that probably does what he's doing a little bit better when it comes to offense, and he doesn't provide a whole lot of defense. He does have a very, very cool trait that is very synergistic and very thematic in sealed, to modify combat values -1 on Spider-Man family keyworded characters. I don't know that's enough, to say, wow, he's an automatic triple play when it comes to sealed. That being said, he's still very serviceable. I'll say 2.5 in sealed. I'm going to say 2 in constructed.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the 3 different point values. Reminds me of the swappy Captain America, which is cool for just flexibility. I like that for sealed pool. Also, and I think Kenny's right. Like, it's not game breaking. This is more of an after rotation thing for me, where if it's good enough, because I don't think any of the Syndicate off the top of my head from the last Spider-Man set are like so crazy that it couldn't work without them. Although I do think Spot is really cool and would like a chance to shine. But it is cool to see. It feels like really thematic and appropriate. So even without being constructed, I still, it's a 4-shot in my heart for casual. Having swappy Syndicate, just that exists, that we can play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably like a 1 or 2 for constructed, more of like a 2 possibility after rotation, and like it's at least a 2 for sealed. He's bringing a lot, like traded perplex and leadership is solid with that rally die.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a 2 in constructed. Maybe maybe like a 1.5 or 2. It depends on how Sinister works out. What is worthwhile to swap in for Sinister. I mean, maybe I could see working him onto like a scientist theme team, and swapping in like Iron Spider Prime and like Chameleon or something like that. But like also in sealed, I think I would play him only at 40 points on sealed. I actually played him in sealed. I played him at the 100-point dial, and I just found he just like went down pretty quickly. Even with like his long dial, I'll show it on the screen. But I think in retrospect, he's just got like toughness, for his defense. He does hit that combat reflexes, occasionally. But I think he's got a lot more value even in sealed at 40 points, because you're getting that outwit, you're getting running shot and outwit. So, and he's got the leadership and outwit with the perplex. So you're just getting him as a utility piece. I think he's better at that point value for sealed. But I think at that point value, he's probably like a 2 in sealed. So I think I'd give him 2s all around.
Beautiful sculpt, by the way.
Yeah,
really one of the best ones in the set.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at Green Goblin Prime. This is the we're going to be name dropping again in this set review, part 2. We're going to say this is the Willem Dafoe version of Green Goblin. Set number 53B. He comes in at 75 or 50 points. So I know if you watched part 1 of our set review, we name dropped like 10 different celebrities. So
Yeah.
not that we know them or anything personally, but we just named them. So Matt, what do you think about this Green Goblin Prime?
He's pretty wild. I think it's I mean, you pulled a super rare prime and sealed, like you already won, so good job. I'm not saying you're gonna go 3-0. I'm just saying you pulled a super rare prime. I do think he's pretty good. I mean, in sealed, he does have a deep dial, and his rally's good with the traded perplex. Got the energy explosion. Exploit, nasty close combat at the end of the dial. So if he sees meta play, it's his shrapnel attack power, energy explosion. When he uses it, roll d6, hit targets or dealt damage equal to result instead of normal damage.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, Blades Claw's fangs of energy explosion. So I mean, the ceiling is like what, 8 people grouped together, or 7 or something crazy.
You give him the billy clubs and give him 2 bolts, and now it's a whole lot more. Yeah,
there we go. Yeah. Then the ceiling gets even higher. So it is really cool. I think in a 300-point game, you're going to be doing a lot to make it work. With only 8 speed and 5 range, it feels tough. I could see it maybe being maybe more in like a 400-point silver game. And you squeeze something else on there, like a Cosmo or something, where you can get rid of some defense powers too, and just use him as a glass cannon. But if he goes off and you roll good enough, like, you're gonna win in 2 turns. That's how I would build it, like more extreme. But yeah, so it's probably more like a 1, but to me, you got to build around it and commit if you're gonna go for it and construct it.
Yeah, Kenny, what do you think about that?
So I'm gonna name drop Tom Hardy here, my good friend. That GIF he has where he just points up and he's like, "That's bait."
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say this character is bad, but man, this character is super bait. He really is. He is the glass cannon version of glass cannon, and he doesn't shy away from it. And Matt's absolutely right. If you choose to play this character, you're not looking to maximize his defense. You're going all in, balls to the wall. How am I maximizing to get this special attack off, or making sure my single d6 roll is not a 1, because that would be really, really sucky.
True.
And just go ham. Those are the reasons why I wouldn't trust him and construct it and play him, but someone out there will be, and because of that, he probably is maybe 1.5, something like that, in between when it comes to constructed. For sealed play, he's still bait, but now he's a little bit safer in sealed play. He's probably a 2.5. I can, in good conscience, give him a 3. That's just so much variance going on here. There's a lot of other super rares that I gladly would give 3 to. But if you like to just live on the edge, this is your super rare prime. Super easy. Go pull it. Go have fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have mixed feelings about this figure. Like, I think now, on the one hand, okay, energy explosion deals 2 normally. So if you're rolling a d6, then you only have like a 1 in 6 chance of rolling less than a 2. So you have like a 3 in 6 chance. You have a 50% chance of rolling better than what energy explosion already is. But on the other hand, like, I know I'm gonna roll that 1. like I know if I go up, if I'm taking, I don't know. It's just very risky. It's just very risky. It's like you said, it's a glass. He's a glass cannon. Also, I don't know if this. I mean, you guys were talking about equipment, giving him the billy clubs. I definitely wouldn't give him the pumpkin bombs because I think I'm not sure if this works that way, but I think his attack power cancels out the pumpkin bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because the attack power is mandatory. It's not optional. It doesn't say you may roll a d6. So you have to roll that d6. And so the pumpkin bombs normally give you 3 damage if you already have energy explosion instead of 2, but his attack power cancels that out. So this is one of those cases where I would not put pumpkin bombs on Green Goblin. You just assume that his shrapnel special ability is kind of like his pumpkin bombs. That's what it is for him. So, but yeah, he's a cool piece. Like I wouldn't be sad if I pulled him. Like he's really cool because like, you know, he's Willem Dafoe, so like he's awesome. But like, but I don't think he's that great. I think he's probably maybe a 2 in sealed and like a 1 in constructed, maybe 1.5 in constructed. All right, let's take a look at Spider-Man Noir, set number 54.
Kenny's first.
Kenny's first? Okay,
Kenny. Yeah.
Go ahead, Kenny. What do you think about
I
Spider-Man
love this
Noir?
figure. Great sculpt, great dial. He's easily a triple when it comes to sealed. He can generate 2 very potent bystanders. One's a little hides in the shadows, can give you outwit. The other one's more in your face with flurry blades, or you just need to empower in a pinch. It could be provided via Huri. Spider-Man Noir hides in the shadows here. He has stealth. He has sidestep. He's not the fastest moving character, but he takes his time, gets in position, does what he needs to do. 6 range, triple target. If you want to incap, you can. You want to punch 3 people, you also can. Super senses and shape change with the Spider-Man TA. So we're talking about a 50-50 rollout for super senses, a 1 out of 3 rollout for shape change. I believe he comes with the mystery card every single time you pull him. So that's another factor to consider, where if he starts hitting super senses, now all of a sudden he can start picking powers that opposing characters can't use via the mystery card because he is a detective. There's a lot of things going here for him in his favor. He's 75 points. He has no reducer, so if he does take a hit, he does take a hit pretty hard. But he does have to steal energy as well to kind of help mitigate that a bit. Yeah, he has really good attack values, especially in the middle. So if he does get hit and is able to heal, now you got to deal with a 12 instead of 11. There's very few bad things you can say about him. He's easily a triple and sealed. He's probably a single and constructed, though, as much as I want to be like he's double or triple. And mystery card teams are a thing in constructed. They're probably not super competitive. But that being said, being able to have one character bring 3 detectives is worth noting. He's single and constructed, triple and sealed.
Matt, what do you think?
This is probably my number 1 want to own for like casual. I just think he's so sick. This is Nicolas Cage. So
there you
go. Yeah, I think he's so fun. Like I love the flavor, like top to bottom here. I do also think he's a triple for sealed. Like he's gonna be so hard to hit. Double rollout, one of them's a 50-50. I mean, I can't really add much more to what Kenny said, but I just do think he's so fun and lots of fun ways to maximize like his bystanders, like the way, depending on how you build. And I think they're like a good value too. And then for constructed, it's probably I'll give him a 1. Because I could see it. It is something that not a lot. I'm not saying we're gonna see him in constructed play, but it wouldn't be crazy if someone, threw him on the team. Like, there's something to be said about generating bystanders after being carried. So he's not as powerful as like a maggot or something, but he is, it's something. And he's equipable. Yeah, he's just so cool. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I'd give him like a 3, probably 3 in sealed, and a 1 in constructed. But like, I really want to like him because I do like him, but like you guys said, there's something there. He can generate the bystanders after being carried, or even just like move himself up and then generate bystanders. So there's kind of like a little bit of an alpha there that he could do, or maybe his potential. If you're in the right position, you can sidestep flurry or sidestep, generate the flurry bystander with empower, and then himself flurry, and then the bystander flurries, and you get like 4 attacks. That's kind of a cool interaction. Like, he could do a lot of stuff. He could generate an outwit, which is really cool. So yeah, he's a good figure. I'd put him at a 1 in constructed, but that's like, because constructed is so competitive. But he's a really good figure. I like him a lot. All right, so we have 2 more super rares left. So let's take a look at Spider Supreme. This is our second to last super rare. Spider Supreme is set number 55. I didn't even know this character existed, but I went back and I researched a little bit of the Warp World storyline. I went and got the first appearance of Arachnite. And actually, the first appearance of Arachnite is also the first appearance of like Iron Hammer and Miss Kang, and like a lot of those Warp World characters all came in like one comic book issue. And then Spider Supreme was in that series as well. So pretty cool storyline, the Warp World. I think I'm gonna go back and read that. Matt, what do you think of this Spider Supreme as a figure?
I'm pretty polarized on this one. This is like as chamomile as it gets for constructed to me. There's like no way I would play it, or do I see it, just because of like, number one, 2 reasons that compete with each other are stop signs from constructs, or construct stop signs from rings, and all like the power deniers, Scarlet Witch, Cosmo, whatever. I think it's just too easy he doesn't do enough free stuff. And you only get, 50 points to build around him in a 300-point game. But on the other hand, in sealed, this is a pretty big 3 bomb to me. Like, the Mystics really puts it over the edge for me, because there's not a ton of reducers, or I should say invincible. And everyone chewing through this is just going to be really hurting to to beat him up. So yeah, 3 for constructed, 1 or 0 for. 0 for constructed, 1 for sealed. But it's a cool casual piece. It's pretty crazy. The last reason I don't like it for constructed is his trait that lets him replace himself is not protected pulse wave, and I think there's too much pulse wave in the meta.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kenny, what do you think?
Yeah, no, it's you don't play him constructed. It's funny because in constructed you might run into a lot of things that don't start on your starting force, so that second trait could come in handy. But sure, it helps, but it's not enough. it's a really cool, fun figure. I do think in your fun, casual builds, 300, 400 points at home, or your local game store, if you're doing 300 points and it's just like 8 people tournament, yeah, he could probably do well. You bring him to nationals, you bring him to worlds or anything like that, he's going to get eaten alive, unfortunately. That being said, in sealed, he hits hard. He has everything you would want. The first trait could come in handy. There is a Doctor Strange in this set. There's plenty of Spider-Man in this set, so having an option to be replaced into at least one character is a high possibility. I don't particularly love him because he only has 1 point value, and you miss once, that's pretty much your turn. So I'm going to say he's a 2.5, but he definitely could win you some sealed games. He probably could win a sealed 3-round event, small little sealed event that you have. Just not my personal cup of tea of how I would like to win sealed or how I'm comfortable winning sealed. Yeah, I have nothing more to add. I do think Matt hit all the notes appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't play him in Constructed at all. I think he's probably an herbal tea for Constructed. For Sealed, he's interesting because, like, if you do pull that, if you do pull something to replace him with when he gets KO'd. Wait, is it a replacement, or is it instead of getting KO'd, or is it after he gets KO'd?
After you score him.
You score him immediately, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be tough to chew through his dial, like you said. I mean, I guess your strategy, if you're playing him in sealed, is, you're obviously playing something else for like 50 points, so you want to score more than 50 points, and then just like survive the rest of the game, right? So as long as you score more than 50 points, you're pretty good, as long as you don't get KO'd. And it's hard to KO him. He's got also 50/50 senses his entire dial, so with the mystics, with the stop clicks and everything, so regen. So yeah, but the same thing you guys said. I would say like I'd probably say a 3 in sealed. I'd probably say a 0 in constructed. And our last super rare of this set is the Spider-Man, 200-point Spider-Man, set number 56. He's also got a lot going on, but I think I like him better than Spider Supreme. I mean, I like the character better. I just like Spider-Man. Like, he's just like a classic Spider-Man. So, Kenny, what do you think about Spider-Man?
He's a triple in sealed for sure. I don't think he's the best figure in the set, but he punches up and hangs with them, and that's exactly what Spider-Man usually does, even in the comics, sometimes taking on foes that are stronger than him because, well, he's Spider-Man.
So you're saying he can hang around?
Yeah. He definitely does. He does have 4 text-based powers. They're all very useful. They're simple too. It looks like a lot, but they're simple effects. The wall crawler is a shared trait. Great power, toughness, and willpower. Spider sense and singling, stop, regen, super senses, and safeguard outwit. And then the fight like a man can convince you to fight like a spider, which is, I love it. Great text. Hypersonic, and essentially allows you to make 2 attacks when you're using hypersonic. So for 200 points, he's really showing you why he's worth 200 points, how he can handle himself. He's got the deep dial. He's got different powers to complement, whether it's prop, close combat expert, outwit, shape change, etc. And you just go in there. You rely on your rolls. You get in there. You beat up on small people. You score your points. You try to make sure you secure the KOs that you can, and you do still have 100 points to build around him. So in sealed, that's more than enough. Whether it's Mary Jane or Madam Webb, if you get really lucky pulling a second super rare, He's very easy to build around. He's definitely a 3. He's definitely a triple in sealed. Unfortunately, in constructed, even though he does have access to safeguard outwit, which does help him, he's probably a single at best. That's probably me being very, very generous. Yeah, it's just unfortunately it's just not there. While he does do a lot of things, that is a huge point investment, and for 200 points in the modern constructed world, you really need to just milk every point possible, and he's just not doing it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Matt?
So this was my number one want of the set, but then I pulled him. So now I have him. I went to sealed. I didn't pull him in sealed, but I got an extra booster and he was in that. And I was really psyched to take him home. This is my new definitive Spider-Man for me. Like, Spider-Man is my favorite character. I have him tattooed on my leg. Like, I like PS4 Spidey a lot. I like the Trash Can Spidey a lot. And those feel great to use, depending on if I'm building a point with, or building a team where I need more points. But I do like this beefier version that feels like he could take on a Sinister Syndicate team by himself, or with a little bit of help, 100 points of help or something. But it feels like he could take on a whole team's worth of Sinister Syndicate, versus I can't run that scenario with a 65 point Spider-Man. You need a 200 point Spider-Man with 3 stop clicks that can make 2 attacks, and he's got super strength. So yeah, I think he's so cool. I'm super hyped on him, on his design and everything. And I think the sculpt's sick. Feels very Spidey. If I would have been lucky enough to pull him in seal, I think he's a 3. I think it's like fringe possible for constructed. For a couple reasons. Like the thing I've been playing with in my head is that, because he's got the free placement and super strength, I was toying with the idea of like a cloak on him where he could carry around some elevated terrain, like free place it next to him and like jump up on it with his wall crawler trait to like get a different angle, or like if he's tied down and he's got 2 actions and doesn't hit his willpower, just a way for him to like get away and get some free mobility. And also the super strength does allow him, if he got barriered in, to be able to get through that. So I think it's more fringe, but I don't think it's like so far away where it would be such a crazy idea either. Like 200 points is like gives you some more room there. I'm probably being biased because I just love Spider-Man so much, but I'm just really happy with this dial, and I'm happy I have him.
Yeah, I think he's definitely he's such a definitive Spider-Man dial. He's really he really embodies that character really so well. I don't know if you guys do you know if there's ever been a higher point dial for Spider-Man? Like a 200 point dial for Spider-Man seems like.
I think there was a 125 Spider-Man from AVX or another set. I definitely seen something around there. Not very common.
Yeah, but this there's probably never been a 200 point Spider-Man.
Oh, before. Absolutely not. No. I'm just trying to think of the highest one.
How much was Cosmic?
Oh,
Oh,
the
I think we're talking about like 616 blue red Spidey suit.
Yeah, no, I know we are. That's true.
Yeah, Cosmic Spider. There was a 319 Cosmic Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
his only point value. So
Okay, that's true.
but you know, and you know, it also makes me want to like kind of collect all of these 200 point figures. Like and so now we have
Yeah.
200 point. We have 200 point Hulk. We have 200 point Iron Man. Those are both from Avengers Forever. They have a 200 point Spider-Man now. I'm kind of hoping we get a 200 point Cap and a 200 point Thor. Well, we have a lot of high point Thors already, but like Captain America,
200 point Mary Jane Watson for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if you just do like you did Black Widow, if you did like all the Avengers right at like 200 points, I think that would be really cool. Just to have like all of them. I thought that would be really
Hopefully the trend continues. I do like them.
but yeah, I like the Spider-Man. Definitely a 3 in sealed. Sadly, I think maybe like a 1 in constructed, but like he's really good. So, all right, so that's gonna end the super rares. If you've been watching or listening, please give this video a like and subscribe, and follow Coffee and Clix for more content. You can find me at Coffee and Clix, or go and hit the bell for notifications. Hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And let's move into the chases. Don't forget, let's just recap on the grading scale of how we're grading these figures. We are starting with a 0, which is a herbal tea. That figure puts you to sleep. Then a 1 is a single espresso. Not really impressive figure, but not quite sleepy. 2 is a double espresso, which is a second tier figure. Pretty impressive, but not quite meta. And then 3 is a triple espresso. Those are the top tier meta figures, the competitive figures that you probably would see on a competitive team. So let's look at the first chase, which is Carnage Thor. He comes in at 150 or 50 points. And all the chases, well, the super rares and the chases, I just have to say this set has amazing sculpts. They really did a good job with the sculpts on this set. Carnage Thor 150 or 50. Whose turn is it to go first on the chases here?
I think it's Matthew.
I think it's me, yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
I will just say this once now. I'm playing all these chases at low points, not high points. So I don't have to repeat myself. I think there's maybe one I like a higher point, but so yeah, higher point for constructed. I guess the higher point for sealed, it would be fine to play. But for constructed, definitely lower. And I could see it for constructed probably too. I mean, he destroys blocking. He's got a good pulse wave, and he's got a stop click. Like it's definitely there. Healing when someone else, like your retaliator or one of the other pieces, kills something is. So he starts with charge. He's got 4. So he would immediately, like, if he heals once, he's jumping up to his other stop click. So he heals once in it, and then he's also gets the running shot. So it's going to be really annoying if he gets to heal once.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I guess it's probably, I mean, it's a lot of points, but 2 stop clicks. It's probably a 3 for sealed. Really sick sculpt. Like, I'm feeling 2 for constructed. Probably. Yeah.
Kenny?
So I know me and Brian in videos in the past, we've always said, chases are always going to be, triple shots. I don't think that's the case in this set. I'm not a big fan of a lot of these symbiote characters here. That's not to say that they're bad. It's just that they are kind of missing the mark when it comes to like when you look at them in constructed, when you look at them in sealed. This one in particular in sealed, I do think does a good job. You definitely want to play him in 150. There's a lot of super senses. You don't want to deal with that pulse wave it. Boom, get rid of it. Who cares? So that's the best way you want to play him. You base him. He has 4 close combat expert. He's not to be messed around with. Let There Be Carnage trait is quite sick. If you do end up playing on lower point value to heal up, like Matt said, to get into the stop click, that stop click also has regeneration. So when you actually heal past the starting line, the only way to heal is through that trait or through that ability. So you wouldn't be able to heal through other means. So that's something to keep in mind as well. That being said, it's still potent to be on a stop click, having the protection that, you know, the impervious is going to stick most of the time. In constructed, I feel like the dial's too shallow. It's nice if you pull it off. I get it. It's also based on the symbiote keyword, and we got a whole bunch in this set, but there's not a whole lot to work with overall. Hopefully down the road, if more come by, it kind of opens up this archetype a little bit. But I'm probably going to give him a single at best when it comes to constructed. But I could be proven wrong, or my mind could be changed as we see how rotation happens down the road, how the meta evolves, and if we get another Spider-Man set or other symbiote keyworded characters.
Yeah, I think I was just gonna say I don't know if, I think Kenny kind of touched on this when he heals, and also like Matt touched this a little bit when he heals. At least even at 1 click, he goes to that stop click, which makes his defense power protected outwit. So, that gets annoying, you know, when he heals to that click. So that's kind of cool. I think, you know, in constructed you play him at 50. Even if you're playing like a home game and you're running him, I would play him at 50. I think. I mean, the 150 is cool, but like, I just want that healing thing to go off. I think that's more fun, you know, to have him heal up from the Let There Be Carnage trait. So that's probably why I would play him at 50 in like a casual game. But you know, sealed, maybe you want to go with play him at 150. But yeah, so I think he's probably like 2 in like constructed. No, sorry, 2 in sealed. Maybe like a 2-ish or like a 1.5 in constructed. I'm not sure.
For constructed, if you're running other symbiotes and you're using both of this free symbiote equipment, red and black, the object I would pay to equip on him would definitely be the shock gauntlets. I want his pulse wave to have force blast.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, actually, maybe like I think he's a 3 in sealed, like with the 2 stop clicks and the running shot pulse wave. I think he's 3 in sealed. So
yeah, 150 for sure. 50, I don't like the 50 line in sealed, unfortunately. Even though he has a stop click, it's maybe 2 at best. But you pull him, 150 is the way you want to play him.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's take a look at Carnage Iron Man. Carnage Iron Man is either 150 or 50 as well. He's got some outwit. He got improved targeting, hindering, super senses, precision strike. He does have like a really cool micro missile symbiote pods trait. Kenny, what do you think about this Iron Man? Carnage Iron
Again, I feel like the 150 line is better here for sealed compared to the 50. I think the 50 line, you just eat him alive. Granted, you have outwit and super senses. There's some things going for you here, but you want to actually be alive to potentially get off the micro missile symbiote pod trait. So I feel like the 150 is a better play here. I'm going to say he's a double, he does have running shot. He does have good range. He is 150. We've seen so many other characters of lower rarities that I feel are just better, superior pulls. If you pull him and play him, you're probably going to do okay at 150. But he just doesn't stack up value-wise, and especially when you get him at a chase. So I'm going to give him a double ranking here when it comes to sealed. In constructed, he gets a little better because I feel like you can probably make more use out of the symbiote pods. But I also feel like it's a little clunky where you got to do a range attack and then an actual power to remove to make a close attack. But he definitely wants to keep on making range attacks. So you're actually taking the action away. Obviously, it would be great if it's free, but probably would have been busted if it's free. So there's some balance concerns there, which I can see why they did what they did. I do think he's single at best, and that's also me being nice when it comes to constructed. And he's maybe a 2.5 in sealed. And that's only talking about the 150 line. You don't want to play the 50 line unless you're absolutely desperate or your pulls were insane and he just fills out the rest of your team.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Kenny. I mean, 100. He's a 2 at best in sealed, like 150 points with an 11 attack. Like
not bad.
It's fine, but 150 points and you can't have a 12. Like, I don't know. And I don't see it in constructed even at 50. I don't like it. I think he's just dying. Short review, but I'm just not crazy about him. I mean, Tony Stark with Carnage seems cool. The sculpt is pretty cool, but I don't love it.
Yeah. So what would you give it for constructed?
Oh, I don't think I would ever run this in constructed. I'm in an herbal. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Actually, I think he's probably an herbal T in constructed, and I would probably put him at a maybe being nice like a 2 in sealed.
He's a triple if you have all the chases together and you want to run them all at once. Like, that does seem fun, but that's probably the only way you could probably get them to run. And one is going to have to die for the other one too. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think a lot of these chases are a little squishy in the chase set. Well, let's take a look at. I mean, not the Thor that we just looked at. The Thor was a little bit more stout.
Yeah, he's one of the better ones for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's take a look at the next one, which is Carnage Captain America, 125 or 50.
Wall of text of America,
yeah.
Yeah, there's his sculpt. I'll show his sculpt and scroll down because he's got a lot of text. Matt, what do you think about Captain America?
I'm not playing 125 points, even in sealed. I don't think the 3 clicks and hyper and losing my exploit weakness is worth it. And losing the quake. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm playing him at 50, even in sealed. So probably like I mean, he does have leadership too, so probably a single or double for sealed. I can maybe see it in constructed because of his leader snip. It could be powerful. It's not broken, but it's pretty good. So maybe like a 1 or 2 for constructed. I could see it.
Yeah, so what does leader snip do? Let me see. Leader snip, when Carnage Captain America uses it, you may place the die on his card. If you do this turn, when a friendly character with a symbiote keyword rolls for Blades, Claws, Fangs. Oh, okay, so it affects Blades, Claws, Fangs. Before rolling, you may choose. But it only works for that turn, right? Because then, even if you don't use it, you remove the die. Okay, that's interesting.
I-
Kenny, what do you think about Carnage Cap?
So 125 points, hypersonic. That's not bad. So here is one in sealed where I actually do agree with Matt that this is the low line sealed play you want to play with. He's squishy, but it's charge exploit. It's Quake, kind of like a range Quake 2, which is kind of cool. We've definitely seen it before. And it's not a bad thing. So, and then you have the leader snip. So the leadership, and he is friendly to himself, so he can affect himself with this ability. So if you're rolling hot with leadership, you can definitely maximize the damage output that he's doing for a minimal cost of 50 points with exploit weakness to make sure that it goes through all the reducers. So to me, he's probably 2.5 in sealed at 50. At 125, you got to be desperate. Like your pulls, you have to pull nothing but utility figures because and then you want to play him. So he's probably a single at 125. In constructed, I do think this is one of those things we have to see how things play out down the road. He's probably a single at best now. The leader snip is really the reason why you want to play him, and it works off the symbiote keyword. So like I said, wall of text. It's like all this wall of text to just work off this one thing, and it's minimized with how it doesn't really expand to many other characters, but that could change. So it's one of those like wait and see. And he might be one of those figures where you pass on him now, but maybe a year from now or 8 months from now, all of a sudden he starts looking good again. So I'll say a single for now when it comes to constructed, and you definitely want to play him at 50 points in sealed if you pull them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe he's like a 2 in sealed. Like, you play him at 50, and then for constructed, I'd say right now, like just a 1 for now. All right, so let's take a look at the next chase, which is Carnage Clea. Also 125 or 50. Let's look at her dial. So there's Carnage Clea. Clea Strange. Okay. Kenny, what do you think about Carnage Clea?
It's funny because she's got TK, and usually you save her at the chance of TK, but she's just so damn expensive at 125. I don't think you play her at all at 125. Again, you got to be really desperate or really bad pulls. Maybe at 50, she's your utility figure with TK. She's got Mystic, so she doesn't want to get hit. The second trait is kind of cool with the Mystics, where you can deal 3 Mystics damage instead of 1. So there's some neat things here, but kind of you pull the chase so it can die. Like it's not the greatest feeling. But she does have some use. I would give her 1.5 in sealed at 50, and at 125, she might be an herbal T chase, which is very, very rare. But she did it. Good for her. Yay, Clea. In constructed, yeah, she's probably an herbal T as well. And unfortunately, she has 2 different point values, has a lot of competition, and she's nowhere near close to even competing or worth a conversation of how she compares to all these other figures in that class and why she would be worth playing. So I'm not going to even bother. I was going to say she's an herbal in constructed, high-end herbal in sealed, and in 50, she is 1.5, maybe 2 if your pulls are atrocious.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think?
I feel pretty differently for sealed. Like, this is a 3 for sealed to me. Like, TK and prob for 50 points, already good. And then you add that she has shape change, super senses, and mystics. So she's hard to put down. And if you do hit her, you're taking damage. and then on top of all that supportive package, there's a chance she's triple mind controlling. To me, she's a triple sealed at 50 points. Constructed, she's like, there's just better options for TKs in general, but also for those keywords, like Venom Strange or Venom Magneto come to mind. But so for now, she's not going to see constructed play. And if she does later on, it's because you want to do one of her keywords as a theme. And it's definitely going to be at 50. The sculpt's pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen the character, but I like the white hair coming out of the red symbiote sculpt. It looks cool contrast. And she's a flyer. Come on, Kenny. This is a 3.
Yeah, but she's your chase slot. I don't know. To me, she just reminds me of kind of like Raven from Batman Team Up, only like on steroids.
But this is so much support for sealed. Flight, TK, prob, 2 rollouts, and mystics. Like, I don't know. It's worse if you don't pull good attackers, but if you pull at least like one decent attacker, and with minimum range values, she does have a higher prob range with her 6 than
a lot of things have to go right for her to win you your seal, more so than like her doing it and making things wrong for your opponent.
Well, yeah, I mean, like she goes down if she doesn't hit her rollouts, right? Like she's got super senses and shape change, but if she doesn't hit those, then she's I don't know.
If you do, you're taking mystics.
Yeah. I mean,
don't get me wrong. She's not unplayable. It's just I don't want to pull her as my chase. And if I only have 10 figures to work with, and I've seen everything else that I can work with, and I'm trying to win my seals event, she is a disappointing pull, which is why I'm giving her the rating that she is based on her rarity. That doesn't mean that if you pull her, you can't win. Everything you said is absolutely true. She does have a lot of tools and a lot of things that she can do, and she can do them pretty well. But, Outwit exists, Poison exists. There's just so many things, and we've seen a bunch of other figures that have access to those powers that just make her, like Matt. Right now, out of the chases that we just looked at, is she your favorite one, or you rather play Iron Man, you rather play Captain America, you rather play Thor? Correct?
Yes, I don't think like that. Like as a chase, I'm just strictly rating like
I got
it. Value to point ratio in sealed. It's a lot of the support powers you want in a figure.
Matt, would you play her in constructed though, or
not right now? I think there's better options.
Never.
Yeah.
The mind control, the triple target mind control is cool for sealed though. Like that actually, like when you mentioned that, like that was like, oh yeah, that's really good. Like
you can mind control 3 Ock arms.
Yeah.
beat Doc Ock up. Like, there's cool things you can do for sure.
Question about the rule. Like, I don't know, this is a rules question, I guess. This, like, I should. I don't know if you guys know the answer to this. So with the Eviscerator Supreme trait that she has, where when an opposing character would be dealt damage from Carnage Clea, Mystics instead from Carnage Clea's Mystics team ability. Instead, roll a d6 and deal that character penetrating damage equal to half the result. That's a trait where she can deal a lot of damage on Mystics. But if she gets KO'd, does that trait trigger?
Yeah.
Yeah?
At the very least, you're dealing...
I know at the very least you're
Mystics.
dealing one for Mystics, but I don't know.
Because Mystics does say after resolution. So just like if you KO someone with Mystics, they still take the Mystics damage.
Yeah, but the trait, I don't know if the trait... Okay.
Yeah. when an opposing character would be dealt damage. Yeah,
Mm.
no, it carries over.
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know. All right. All
I'll
right.
trust Kenny, but I do have my doubts.
It could be phrased better to make it so when an opposing character would be damaged, I think the cleanest way would have said after resolutions with that, just so that way everything's consistent. So that might be the hang up. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might not be 100% confident about it either. You know what?
You know what? If
Definitely
you're
might have to
watching, if
just
you're
look at the rule book again and just make sure we
if you
dot
know
our
the
I's.
answer, if you know the answer, please post in the comments.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I'm questioning it too.
All right, so let's take a look at the next chase. We have Carnage Rocket, 75 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love Rocket Raccoon. There have been a lot of chase rockets recently, or a lot of versions of Rocket. Pretty good versions of Rocket recently.
Yep.
There was that chase from War of the Realms. He was pretty good. Kenny, what do you think about Carnage Rocket? Oh, sorry. I think this is Matt's turn, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, go ahead.
I know you lose the prob, but I think this is the one that I do like it at higher points. I like the bigger damage value, and I like the penetrating damage.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think. I mean, he does have the improved targeting, destroying blocking, which is like super relevant. He's got a pretty big for this set range, 7 with 3 bolts. I think this is a pretty good sealed pull. That's big range, big damage, and penetrating damage. So it's like a 2 or 3, like 2.5. Like that's pretty solid. With double rollout and an outwit. An outwit's always so strong and extra strong and sealed. And then if you can't finish him, he can use his steel energy, which he's got the rest of the dial. So I don't really see it for constructed. I actually definitely don't. But it's like nervable. But I think it's really cool. Like it's Carnage Rocket. And it's like a decent good. It's a pretty good sealed pool and decent casual piece, but I don't see it for constructed.
Okay.
So I guess like 2 and 0.
Kenny?
I think he's a 3 in sealed. I think either point line works very well, 75 or 50. It's not a huge investment, and he does bring a lot to the table. Like Matt said, it really comes down to what you prefer. Would you want the outlet? You want the prob? The cool thing about him, too, is that if you do 50, you do KO something, you probably will get to the outlet anyway and get to click, too. So I think
true.
Say it again?
I said that's true.
Yeah.
Prob is maybe even more valuable in sealed. I guess I was just thinking for like casual.
No, I get it. It all depends on what else you pull. If you pull 2 Mary Janes, you might not care for the third prob. You might just want the big damage. So he's flexible on that, and it's minimal point cost. It's a minimal point difference. So that's why I give him a triple espresso when it comes to sealed. I think I would prefer 75, so that way I get the most juice I can out of the special attack power to heal, especially when it comes to with range attacks as well. That's always a nice little thing. And there is a lot of perplex in this set, and he has Guardian CA, so his values are going to stick. That's another important factor here. Constructed, definitely like him better than Clea. I don't know if I would play him either, but again, if it really comes down to, you're not going to play him on a monster team or outside of what his keywords are. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, if they ever get their own swap mechanic, who knows? But it really just comes down to the evolution of the symbiote keyword. Clearly, it wants to synergize with that keyword, and we got few here. We got to see how it evolves and what more we get, and if that archetype is the thing. So for that reason alone, he's probably a single at best, and that's just being hopeful of what things look like, maybe a year from now. But other than that, he does not see playing constructed. But in sealed though, he's a solid. He's a triple. He's going to do some work, and that's it.
Yeah, I think in sealed he's probably a 2.5, maybe a 3. I think a 3. I think he definitely will do some work in sealed. I think in constructed he's probably an herbal tea as of right now. Like I don't think he's getting played on any constructed teams, but like if you're running symbiotes, if you're running monsters or something like that, you could make it work with him. So, all right. Let's see. Let's take a look at.
We can just skip the next one. It's not
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, all right. So we're done with. No, I think we're almost done with the chases. Then. Okay. All right. So, the next one is the one that everybody talks about.
Yep.
Carnage Silver Surfer. He comes in at 175 or 50, and I think you're pretty much exclusively playing him at 50. Like we said earlier, with all these Carnage chases.
I mean,
Kennie,
in sealed, I might play him at 175. I mean, that's a deep, deep dial.
that is true.
Yeah.
He's got, it's not an easy dial to get around. 175. That's a pretty good dial.
And he does have cosmic energy, but chances are 50 is probably good enough. This set is packed full of heavy hitters and monsters and all the rarities. So, if you pull really badly, and that's what you got to do. Oh no, twisting my arm. I got to play him at 175. But he's definitely a triple espresso. I know we said Prime Iron Spider-Man is probably like the best figure. He's probably number 2 in my book when it comes to sealed. Maybe Venom Thanos is up there as well. There's a lot of competition for that spot, but this is the chase you definitely want to see, and I'm not even talking about eBay. I'm talking about actually winning your sealed event.
Don't forget also, I think Prime Spider-Man, I would put it up there in sealed, just a black suit Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing in sealed.
He did. I mean, this is a hypersonic speed, 2 attacks. He can heal. He has penetrating psychic blast. Not a whole lot of reducers in this set, but for the ones I have, he can handle them. And like Rocket, he can heal with both close and range attacks when it comes to steel energy. He has big numbers, cosmic energy. So, you can't really outwit him. And, I mean, what more can you say? When it comes to constructed, when we're talking about characters, you're not playing 175 in constructed, so let's not even go there. 50, though, he is worthy of conversation. We always say, can he hang with other character sets like Sky Tyrant or whoever at 50 points? He can't. He actually can hang. Is he better? There's no way to know that right now. You can't say it. But he's probably the only chase that could see immediate impact or immediate play in constructed, while the other ones are kind of waiting for the keyword to mature. He's ahead. He's ahead of the curve here. I'll give him a double. I give him a double in constructed. I give him a triple in sealed.
Okay. Matt Ventura, Carnage Surfer, what do you think?
Definitely a triple and sealed. And I agree with Kenny. I could see the value of playing the top point value at 175. Mostly because of the invincible. I mean, the stats, yes, but just being able to take probably 2 hits that soften like 2 hits right off the bat before you get to your squishier part of your dial where you're relying on rollouts, makes it worth it, like Kenny said, because of that, steel energy. There's a good chance you're just going to heal it right back up. so I can see it. Constructed is definitely 50 only. Like, um, and yeah, it's like a two to three for constructed. I mean, he's definitely gonna see play, and I think he is worth it. And I think he's in the conversation of, you know, top, 50 point
Yeah.
attackers. The competition is steep now, and it'll get, he gets even better after rotation. I said this on JSA podcast. I think he's really, really good and worthy of the talk and whatever. Personally, he's not like super exciting to me. He's like a pile of stats. Like, he's really strong, but like, it's nothing that's like the most unique thing about him is his improved targeting elevated, and 6 range is like good enough to make that work, maybe with some shield, some perplex, whatever. So that is something unique about him. But when I see this, my mind's immediately like, all right, I'm gonna get some pulse wave and some knockback. I'm gonna be in some stealth so that his RCE and his penetrating psychic blast don't mean anything. There is also enough ways around him where he's not like, this is not an oppressive piece on the meta, in my opinion. I don't see it coming to that. And I do see a lot of people talking about playing at least 2, and I think that's a good idea. You attempt to deal with 1, which is a really healthy 6 clicks with those rollouts. And then the other, then you got the other one to deal with. So, so I think it's cool. I think it's worthy of the talk. But I also don't think it's worth $400. And I don't.
He's an oppressive piece on my wallet for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it is cool. I mean, the idea of a Carnage Silver Surfer is really cool. So I'm not hating on him. I'm not scared of him. We'll say that.
I hear you, Matt.
Yeah.
Gotta come for you now.
Fight it works.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's really good. I think in sealed, I get your point, Kenny. Like, maybe you want to play him at 175 in sealed. It's possible. I think he does pull his weight at 50 though in sealed as well. Yeah. I think in constructed, yeah, he's definitely. I mean, 2. I think he's going to be more than a 2. I think he's probably a 3 or a 2.5. I don't know. It remains to be seen because, he just came out. But he's definitely going to be probably the main figure in the set, like you guys said, that's going to be making a splash in the meta, up there with like the Sky Tyrants and stuff like that. So I think he'll definitely be, he'll definitely see constructed play for sure. Like, he'll definitely be on some constructed teams, and he has the tools to do well. Like, he has the Let There Be Carnage trait where he can heal, and when he heals to that next click, he gets pretty good after that initial attack. He gets pretty, I think his next click is
it would be click 3, which he would get to the invincible line, which
then
is
he gets
a big deal from super senses.
That's a big deal. So like once he gets to that one, once he heals up just once, he gets pretty annoying. Also, I think it's cool. I mean, another thing that I thought was interesting about him, I know Matt said that he was uninteresting in a lot of ways. He was kind of vanilla. But or he's just like a pile of stats. But like,
I'm just being a hipster,
Okay,
like,
all right.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
Done that, whatever.
Yeah, he's ironic. He's ironic. So, but the one thing I think is interesting about him is his where he can hypersonic, and then when he uses it, it hits. So he can do that at either closer range, right? Because it's hypersonic speed. And then after resolutions, he may make, it just says he may make an attack. So like, you know, he could hypersonic shoot for his range is 6, right? So that cuts it in half. So he shoots somebody at 3 range, and then he can shoot somebody else at 6 range, right? Or maybe he can hit somebody close and then shoot somebody at 6 range, or you know, so, or maybe he can hit, or he can do two close attacks if he needs to. So it's very versatile. You know, it doesn't specify what type of an attack he can make. And if he does make it as a range attack, he can use his full range. So I think
you really want to be doing range though, because of the RCE and the Pensai are both passive.
No, yeah, I totally get that. You probably want to be doing range, but I mean, you never know. Like having the option for the close is good.
Yeah, don't forget he also has the equipment, which you know wants to work with place called Fangs and things like that. So he's not a slacker close combat either, but his tools definitely lean more. You know, he prefers range.
Yeah, you could give him blades with the red symbiote. You could also, I think he works well with Venom Thanos because Venom Thanos can give him close combat expert or just like
that's true
things.
Yeah, so you play Venom Thanos at 50 and 5 Carnage Silver Surfers at 50.
There's this.
That's your team. Yeah,
they all have prob.
Or no. 4 Carnage Silver Surfers, Venom Thanos, and then 5 Colossal Carnages at 10 points each.
Saving me $400. I like that. Yeah. Actually, no. Those are expensive too.
Next online tournament. That's what I'm running. My next online tournament.
There you go. And I'm here thinking that we need more symbiote characters. You just broke the meta, man. Everyone's 3 stars now.
So yeah. All right. So I give him a 3. I think I give him a 3 competitive, and then also probably a 3 in sealed. So I think I'd give him 3s all around. All right, so let's take a look at the next figure. Now we're done with the Carnage chases, but now we're getting into the Gwen chases based on Gwen Stacy, the Avengers. So this one, the first one of the Avengers is Ghost Spider 2099. She's 75 points. She's got a pretty good dial. I like her. I like her kit. Who goes first for Gwen? Gwen 2099. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, she kind of kicked my butt and sealed. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize that her lone vigilante trait was a free full move. I went first, and I moved it up like not that far. We were on a 2x3 map, or it didn't feel that far to me, and he was able to like free mover and then full mover after like perplex and defense and something else, and just based like half of my team with her close combat expert, and then continued to like outwit my outwits like from my Daredevil or whatever, and she was just a pain in the neck that game. So for that, I would say she's just so mobile. She's getting the outwit, and at some point of her dial, there's like a decent chance you land onto your senses, because of the way that the clicks are spaced out. That at some point you likely have a 50-50 senses as well. So, and then top dial, her damage powers, it's not just outwit, it's also shape change. So she's got to be at least a double and sealed. I mean, I thought she was really good. And I think she's a pretty cool chase, and it's a cool sculpt. She's like almost completely like upside down and doing like a cool pose. I don't see it for constructed, but I love how mobile she is. If Silver did have IDs, I mean, she's someone I would maybe consider just because of how mobile she is. But without IDs, it's ID cards, then she's a lot lower and constructed to me. But that would be the only angle that I could see it probably. So I guess like a 2 in herbal probably.
Kenny?
I would give her triple and sealed just because, like Matt said, she does have the ability to at 75% of the map very easily. And if you're not paying attention, she is very, very sneaky. She will get up to you. And if you're playing a Mary Jane or not May and you just do not want to deal with it, she is the old lady killer. If you move up too far you're not protecting her, and that could be enough. And she's got 7 clicks, she has reflexes, she does get into senses later, so if she doesn't get one hit KO'd, which is likely she won't, now she has a 50-50 shot at senses. This is that, to me, that's triple espresso worthy when it comes to sealed. She can refresh her vigilante tokens based on her shape change and outwit usage as well. So if she wants to continue to be mobile, she can. It is a move, so she does have to break away. It's not a place. She doesn't have proof moving character, so that's something to keep in mind. Where it's nice to have, but if you try to use it and you're based the way it's worded, it is move. You gotta follow the rules there. Constructed. Matt's right when it comes to ID cards and silver. If that was a thing, she definitely would be probably double worthy. Right now, she's single worthy at best, but she's probably not seeing play. The sneakiness is a good thing, especially in constructed, to get there and do what you got to do, make an attack. She carries a tiny character that can generate something. She can set that up. But I think there's other characters that can do that cost less and probably not giving up as many points. So while she does have the ability to do it, she's not one of the better ones to do it. So I would probably leave her at single, and that's kind of being generous. Triple when it comes to sealed.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Kenny, on everything you said. Like, I think Ghost Spider 2099, she in sealed, she almost, like, if you win map and you go to a small map, it's basically full map reach almost. So, like, for that alone, like, and the fact that, with the combat reflexes and the precision strike, she's got a lot of good tools. She can go base somebody, or she can get in there and hit people. So, and then the fact that she can use that multiple times, and she can do a free move multiple times, and that can refresh. That just makes her extremely mobile. So I think she's very good in sealed. I think in constructed, just like you said, it's like a 1 at best. It's being kind of generous, but I think the fact that she's equipable is really good, because you never know, like, what equipment might come out that makes her dangerous with the free move that she has. So that's like a possibility, I guess. But she's at 75 points. I don't think it's good enough for constructed. All right, so let's take a look at the next Gwenger. This is Hawk Gwen. Kenny, want to talk about Hawk Gwen?
I do. One of my favorite ones, actually. She's definitely a triple in sealed once again. I feel like the Gwengers, I think all of them are triples, unlike the Carnage ones where you have to pick and choose based on the designs. Here, simple, effective. If she hits you, she's doing 2 things. She's doing action total +1, which is never a bad thing. So if you have leadership and you hit someone with Hawk Gwen, you probably get 5 actions this turn. With the Gwenger's trait, when she hits, you may move all friendly characters with this trait up to 1 square. So she gets to move herself a little bit afterwards. Yeah, I doubt you pulled 2 chases in sealed, but if you lucky and you did, that's just extra mobility, extra movement there. The trick arrows, it's something we've seen before on other Hawkeyes and things like that, but it's still good. 7 range, triple target, pick a power, go ahead and do your thing. So it's simple, it's effective, it's team friendly. she is triple bolt when she hits after resolutions. Oh, I said that already. Sorry. I wish she had a second starting line, because then you would have consideration for her being constructed worthy. Unfortunately, no, she's not. And it's funny because she has cool powers, but 75 points is a lot to ask for nowadays, and it's just not quite there. If she had, I don't know, click 5 in the second line, 30, 35 or something like that, that's a different conversation. But unfortunately, that's not reality. So let's focus on what we have here. Triple and sealed, yeah, probably an herbal team, maybe a single and constructed.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm at a like an herbal for constructed, but this definitely feels like a triple and sealed for me. Like big 12 attack with whatever power, pretty much you could need. Energy explosion, precision strike in a Spider-Man set, great. Especially when you have 3 bolts. And or Pensai if you want the 3 damage going straight. And until you just said it, Kenny, when she hits after resolution, she can, because she's friendly to herself and has the trait. That's actually really good. And sealed for it kind of synergizes with her willpower, her traded willpower, because she could hit something, but let's say she running shots right next to like a elevated or blocking or something. She takes her shot, and with 3 bolts, you target hopefully 3 things. If you hit, you can hide back behind that blocking or elevated, or
Canadian sidestep. Yep.
Yeah, like or you're on elevated and you back off the rim or something. Like that seems pretty sick actually in sealed. And 12 attack, precision strike. Like there's a good chance you're hitting something. So yeah, I really like her for sealed. That would be cool. And definitely solid for casual.
Which
she seems fun.
She wouldn't move 3 though. She would only move 1, right? Like even if she hit 3
1,
targets?
yeah. No, 1, but 1's good enough just to keep yourself safe, and then you hit your willpower and you running shot right back to the ledge, or outside of the blocking or whatever.
I don't know. Like I love Hawkeye as a character. He's one of my favorite characters. So like to see a Gwen version of Hawkeye is really cool. I think she's a 2 in sealed. I don't know if she's like. I think you just go up and base her. I think, like I don't know, like.
But she has 7 range with her running shot.
Yeah, so I guess if you just keep her back, right? Like
in this set, that feels pretty long.
Like and she's 75 points too, so you're definitely going to have other characters in there. If she was 175, then this is not even a conversation, because you just do what you said and she's done.
Yeah.
But with 75 points, you're ignoring 225 points worth of other characters from this set that we've reviewed, and that's a lot to ignore.
Yeah, because I mean, the only thing is, like, I know, like, with the smaller maps and everything, it's just easier to go up and base figures. Like a lot of times, I find like the close combat is more valuable with the smaller maps, just from what I've played. There's like more of an emphasis on close combat on like melee than there is on range. The range figures are still good, but like people just tend to get in on each other in that kind of environment.
It's a lost art when it comes to basing characters and setting up your range characters. That used to be a thing way back in the day, and then everything became one-shottable and ID cards, and everything shifted. Yeah. Trust me, if you want to make a range attack work and you have the figures to go in there and just make sure that people are in position, she will shine. Doesn't matter how small the map is.
Okay.
And traded willpower does make her harder to tie down. You can't just like, oh, she's double tokened, now I'm going to run in my symbiote or whatever, like, because there's always that, that chance she hits her willpower and she's just going to keep running shotting the whole game.
Yeah. So all right, but yeah. So I guess I mean she could be a 3. I mean maybe 2.5. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say a 3. It's possible. I mean in constructed, I agree with both of you about being at Rebel T for constructed. I don't think she's.
It's a shame, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. She's a cool character. I really like her as a figure. I definitely like. I like all the Gwen chases, the Gwentures. So let's take a look.
I'm more excited to play these together than the Carnage ones. Even though the Carnage ones are probably going to be fun when you play them all together, but this one seems a little bit more cohesive.
And having them on the sideline for Gwen Stacy.
Uncommon Gwen Stacy.
The uncommon Gwen Stacy. I think that actually might be like possibly playable and constructed, like the Gwen Stacy that.
For funsies, yeah.
Yeah, because she's only 20-point leadership. She's 20-point leadership. So.
So can we segue off that into my review of
absolutely because
Unquenchable Hulk?
I think this is the number one choice for.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
5 printed damage with close combat expert on that last click, which is what you would be bringing in for that. What rarity was that, Gwen?
Uncommon.
For that uncommon Gwen. Like, what a beast.
So this is Ingwenable Hulk that we're talking about. Yeah.
The Ingwenable Hulk. She is the lead vocals frontman. With that mohawk, that she's repping, she definitely feels like the frontman. Which gives her traded flurry. I mean, for constructed, I like that she has 2-point values. I don't see either point value for constructed other than sideline for Gwen Stacy, but I do see it. I mean, like, if you play that Gwen Stacy, this is, to me, my number one choice. I mean, it's just a monster click to deal with. And protected impervious. That can reduce penetrating damage. Like, it's not an easy hit. There's no easy way around this. And traded flurry. I mean, she can do 12 damage. That's so crazy.
And they're attacking.
I love it.
And they're attacking her because she's got that trait. If they're not the target, if during the first attack of an opponent's turn, if Ingwenable Hulk is not a target, modify the attacker's attack and damage -1. So
during the first attack of an opponent. Oh, right.
Yeah. So, attack her first and you keep your normal combat values. If you choose to attack someone else, that's a -1 damage, which, you don't see that very often where you see a negative damage modifier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool thing is that I don't think she's unique. I could be wrong, but so if you play 2 Gwen Stacy, I think Gwen Stacy is unique though, right? The uncommon.
Probably.
I mean, we could just scroll up and look,
Yeah, we could scroll up. Let's take a look.
We could.
We could. I'm curious. No, she's not unique.
She's not.
So if you're able to get 2 of these off and have 2 Ingwenable Hulks at a very low cost, you can't attack both. Well, I guess some characters can, but you can't attack both at the same time. So you actually get a -2/-2 or a -1/-1 if you have to commit to one or the other. So it just gets sillier and sillier when you think of it that way.
This is the meta breaker.
I doubt it.
Meta.
Yeah. More like a fun breaker,
Yeah.
You play this versus the all Carnage Surfer team and see who wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it. Yeah, it's probably Carnage Surfer, but yeah.
All right.
Oh, so, I didn't rate her for sealed, but
so
I mean, she's a great sealed pull. I mean,
yeah,
she's got to be a 3 for sealed. She's so hard to take down, reduce penetrating damage, and protected outweight on that. So even if you outweigh her charge, which it's only 4 speed anyway, she's likely just moving up and trying to base something, and then she's gonna stick around and mess some stuff up with that flurry.
Yeah. not much more I can add. She's definitely a triple in sealed. I do think she's a double in constructed because of the whole Gwen Stacy interaction and just the insane value that you could potentially get. Again, the lost art of facing characters and forcing them to do things that they don't want to do. You can't out with the damage power. All right, you get out with charge, you get out with flurry, you get out with super strength, you get out with close combat expert. She just has so many different ways to make sure her damage is going to be maximized, and you can only have so many outwits, especially in a sealed format, and that's why she's just Gwenable. So yeah, that's it. I mean, Matt barely hit every other point. That's all I can really add. My silly pun.
And
I forgot about the super strength. Gives her knockback too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Extra damage.
Or they continue with the name dropping. Who played Gwen Stacy in? Was it Kirsten Dunst? I think it was Kirsten.
No, that
Dunst.
Was Kirsten Dunst was Mary Jane in the first Spider-Man.
Emma Stone.
It was Emma Stone who played. Yeah.
And Bryce Dallas Howard in Spider-Man 3. That amazing movie.
Okay. Facts.
Oh yeah. I forgot her name. Yeah.
Ron Howard's daughter. Yeah.
Okay, Bryce Dallas Howard. Okay, cool. All right, so let's see. The next Gwen chase is Captain Gwen America. 75 points or 35 points.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He is good.
Yeah, Kenny, what do you think about her?
Pretty good. 19 defend. Not a whole lot of defend in this set. I think Doctor Strange has it. And also, he only did it at 18, not 19. I mean, this alone is just reason to give her the triple espresso treatment. She does have the rhythm guitar power chords, which is leadership. She succeeds. She may also, on top of normal leadership, she can also remove an action token from a friendly character that shares a keyword with her from anywhere on the map. So if Spider-Man's beating the crap out of someone on the other side of the map, Spider-Man family keyword, she can remove the token. She wants to remove the token from herself. She is friendly to herself. She can do so as well. She does have the Avengers trait. She's probably not going to be attacking and hitting all that much. She won't trigger it, but if she does, that gives her more mobility. I mean, she does have charge and running shot, so she has access to it, but her combat values for attacking 10 attack a little bit lower than you would like. She's really more of a utility figure, but what she's doing, she does it very well. You pull her, you feel a little bit more comfortable. You stack your tentacle arms and make them night. Oh, that's crazy. Depending on your pulls, there's a lot of things you could do, and anytime you make anything a 19 defend is always a good time, and she does it at a good cost. 35 points is not bad. You get 18 defend, but I really do think the value here is at 75. Constructed, it really comes down to the keywords you play. She does have Avengers, which that's a keyword that tends to be good more times than not. There's a swap mechanic with it. So for 35 and having a leadership trait that can clear anywhere on the map, I think is a very useful thing. For that alone, she's probably a single when it comes to constructed. Spider-Man family actually does break through and see play. That just enhances her constructed viability a little bit more. But I think right now, keeping it calm, saying she's a single and constructed, keep her a triple and sealed, and these Avengers are a lot of fun, especially casual nights. So having fun reviewing these.
Yes, Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same ratings. Single constructed, I could maybe see it, and I like a triple and sealed. I think she's bringing enough. I like the top point value, because all that energy shield and reflexes, that's even a 17 is now a 21 defense, defended, and then +2 on top. So I like the higher point value, and and then the flexibility of the charge, running shot, stealth. She can help body block, again, precision in a Spider-Man set. Yeah, I like it. for sealed. I think it's pretty solid, and your double leadership. It's good.
Yeah. So you get same ratings as Kenny. I think
Same.
I think I agree with both of you. I think maybe 3 in sealed, having the outwit and the defend is really valuable. Having charge and running shot if you need to get an attack, precision strike in a set with a lot of super senses, double targeting, makes her really like kind of like a multi-tool, so she can do a lot of things. Constructed, I'd probably give her a 1. You know, it is possible you can use her at 35.
There's upside though, yeah.
Yeah, she's got upside. I mean, you could also equip her with like Captain Carter's shield or something like that and make that 18 into, you know, something even better. There's possibility there. I don't think she's like the best. I think there's better options at 35 points for what she does.
Fred Jones, yeah.
But yeah, so I'd give her 3 in sealed, and a 1 in constructed. There are 2 more chases left, and then we are done with the entire set, or well, not the entire set, but the main set.
CURSR chases.
Yes. So our next chase is Iron Gwen. Iron Gwen is either 100 or 50 points. Matt, you want to talk about Iron Gwen? What do you think?
As far as Stark Industries chases go, I like this one a lot more. Way more excited to play this at 100 points and sealed. This is a nasty dial. 11 for Pensai and Prob. That's a solid package. Decent enough reach with the running shot and 6 range. And then she's the keyboardist of the band, so she's got Empower, Enhancement, or Perplex. So I mean, for sealed pulls, for casual games, spoiler, I don't think she's going to be top of the meta for constructed, but for the other 2 formats, she's just really easy to build around. Really flexible, like whatever you pull. It's some extra damage for your range pieces or your close pieces, or both, you know, depending on just different turns. Or a Perplex, like she's just a 12 attack or 7 range, you know, whatever. Like I think she's just a solid piece for sealed. And the fact that prob, after all probs are finalized, for herself or friendlies, you know, you can get that +1. Or you can do -1, but you likely are getting you don't want that +1. So really, it's like, you know, if she puts her Perplex in, it's kind of like being like a 13 attack with that prob power. And then, you know, minusing 1 to opponents is like, she's an awesome 3 sealed for me. Like at 100 points and 50 points. I guess you still get the prob if you pull really good and just want the prob and don't need the attacker. She's a sidestep flyer, so I could see it, but I'm not as excited about it because 1 hit is not looking great. And I like Herbal Tea for constructed, but I love the both point values for sealed and casual.
Yeah,
I think she's cool.
I'll give her a single in constructed because I do think that damage power and being an Avenger, having swap tech available, you know, we know how potent Saturnine is when it comes to manipulating attack totals, rolls, and things like that, and she does it. Now she is more expensive, but she is also bringing other utility when it comes to power enhancement, Perplex. It's just access to the keyword that gives her hope that it could be utilized. It is a very potent effect. I don't think at 100 points she has any chance of ever. It's just too expensive. But that's as far as I can go with constructed with her, and seeing that there is some chance maybe.
I guess you're right.
You see an Iron Gwen.
Yeah.
You can also just play Saturnines and Iron Gwen, just be like, I'll manipulate all the roles I want, but that's not going to win. Anyway, sealed. I agree with you. When 100 points, numbers, stats, values, everything she does. She's 1/3 of your team. She can carry, and you can build around it. She's quite good. 50 points. Not bad, not fantastic. But she's a great utility figure to build around if your other pulls were fantastic. But chances are you're going to be playing her 100 in sealed. She's going to be an easy triple espresso at 100, probably a double at 50. And like I said, in constructed, there's hope that I'll give her the single in constructed.
Yeah, I want to move her up to a 1 for constructed.
Yay.
Yeah, I think she's a 3 in sealed. I think she's probably a 1 in constructed, or between a 0 and a 1, but like trending upwards. I think, she in constructed, she goes down really quickly. Like she's very fragile. But yeah, that damage power is really good, and also the trait with the fact that she's a keyboardist and she brings in power enhancement or perplex, so that's like really good utility. In constructed, I just think that for 50 points, there's a lot of other utility figures that are better. I mean, if you look at like Miss Kang or something like that for 50 points, something that is just more durable. But like, I think she's still good, so I'd give her a 1 in constructed. I agree with you.
The Blue Lantern ring's kind of sick on her. She chooses Empower.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give the +1 attack on top of that prob.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah, definitely. All right, so here we are down to the last chase. It is Gwen, Goddess of Thunder. She comes in at 85 or 55 points. Do they all fit together? Like I was looking at the point value of Gwen, Goddess of Thunder. I thought it was an odd point value. Is it possible to make like a team with all of the Gwen chases, the Gwengers?
I think the Gwenvengers, yes, not including Ghost Spider 2019. Oh, she isn't a Gwenger. Never mind.
Do they add up to something, or I haven't.
No, I think it goes over 300. Because you got
maybe 500.
Hawk Gwen at 75, and Gwenable at 75, so that's 150. Gwen America at 35, that's 185. Iron Gwen at 50, that's 235, and then Goddess of Thunder Gwen is 55, so that's 290 total.
Interesting.
And that's all the lower lines.
Okay. Well, I think Kenny's first on this one, right? Or
yeah,
no?
Yep.
Yeah. So Kenny, what do you think of Gwen, Goddess of Thunder?
Apparently, if you're a Thor or any variant of Thor, you must have Pulse Wave. It feels like that lately, but she does it very well. Pulse Wave and friendly characters, not a Gwengers, not Spider-Man family, friendly characters. Everyone, that's everyone. Gain Safeguard Pulse Wave during this action, so she can Pulse Wave freely. Your bystanders won't get KO'd, your concepts won't get KO'd, your eenies and meanies stay alive if you want to break theme. Mm-hmm. And that's just amazing. So she's also running shot Pulse Wave with props, so if you miss, she gets to try again. It's not many power combinations you're gonna shine down on, and this is running shot Pulse Wave prop. That's incredible. For 85 or 55 points, yeah, she's easily a triple espresso in sealed. I think you prefer 85. You want that 12 attack and that 18 invincible, but in a pinch, 55. If your pulls are fantastic, 55 points is serviceable. what else am I missing here? And she has precision strike and knockback. So when you're not pulse waving, and you want to use precision strike, all the super senses in this set, she does a little bit better. The knockback damage is back too. So if you're pulse waving people off roofs or into walls, that's just extra damage. She simple, efficient, effective design here. It works quite well. Constructed. I don't see it. Like, I want to be friendly. I want to say she's a single. I think she's an herbal tea. The other ones are doing things that are really, really manipulative and rare to do in the modern game. While Pulse Wave is fantastic, I don't know if that's enough to justify a 55-point sideline option swap, especially with sideline being reduced to include. I would love to be wrong, but I think she's an herbal tea and constructed.
Yeah. Matt?
Sealed, Super 3. I definitely lean more to the 85. I do like the higher attack, and I like the invincible. I like that she's harder to. It's just invincible is just such a good power to soften a hit or two, and make her less enticing to win a hit. I'm more of like a double for constructed here at 55. The pulse wave knockback precision combo, like especially with people talking about running their carnages with the the protected pulse wave stop click toughness.
Okay.
I mean, this is just getting through everything. Like, and I like her 10 speed, gives her a good 5 range. She's got the prob for herself. Like, to me, it lines up. I don't think that we see a lot of it, but I think it's there. She's also not unique. Like, if you wanted to build, a strategy where you want to send in, I don't think you can get 2 on a big map all the way across. Maybe on theme with like a spirit of the game or something. But at least 1, I could see it. I mean, because like I said, it's just that combo is pulse wave and precision and knockback. It's just a really good combo with the prob, and pulse wave is a replacement to just starts at 4, but you can modify that, so you very easily can get that range up to 7, and 7 on either side of her is like her in the middle plus 14 is a 50. That's, I mean, the whole that's 1 square shy of a whole small map. So even if the team splits up, you're still hitting a lot. So I do see it. It's like a double, not a triple, but I think it's there. Sculpt is like one of the best in the set to me. I think it's and I'm not like I think, I'm like 50-50 on like Thor pieces, like some are cool, some are whatever, but this sculpt is like sick. Like the lightning and everything and the flying cape, like it's tight.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like, I don't know if I'd give her a 2 in constructed, maybe a 1. I don't think I would give her a 0. I definitely would give her a 1. But it's like trending upwards, like we've like we said with a couple of the other figures. I definitely see what you're saying, Matt. I think I mean, I just really think she's cool. I like Thor a lot. I like my probably my favorite 3 characters would be like Spider-Man, Thor, and Hawkeye. Like, those would be my 3 favorites. And liked seeing those iterations. There's so many good characters though, like I like Hulk, I like Daredevil. There's just so many, and this set has a lot of really good characters in it, with good sculpts and good like characterizations. I guess I don't know how you say that, but like really good versions of a lot of characters in the set. So I really like this set overall. Gwen, Goddess of Thunder, I think she's great. The Pulse Wave is great. The Pulse Wave power is really good. I mean, she's really good. I do tend probably to play her at 85. I like her better at 85 than at 55, just like you guys were saying. So I think I'd give her a 3, definitely in sealed. Maybe like a 1.5 in constructed. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's been like a really. I think I really had fun reviewing the set. This was the last chase, I think.
We're done.
Yeah, so many good characters being portrayed in this set. It's always exciting when there's a Spider-Man set. I mean, Moon Knight. I really liked seeing that Moon Knight. The Daredevil was just amazing. The Daredevil that they had was really good. Punisher. They have. If you're playing Silver Age, you can use that Punisher with the Punisher War Machine to pop him out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So there's a lot of cool things in this.
Or
set.
the Punisher van, even though it's not Silver Age, but still.
A lot of just really playable dials. Like it was hard to give like herbal teas for sealed. Like basically everything was playable.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good playable dials.
And unique Sinister Syndicate, like, pushing into the, even in the conversation of being constructed and just like feeling unique, like a Pulse Wave on a Hydro Man or whatever. Like, yeah, really cool set.
So, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for us. Please subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Keep following Coffee and Clix. Thank you to Matt Ventura and Kennie Peña for doing this set review. You just watched part 2 of the set review for Marvel HeroClix Spider-Man Beyond Amazing. If you haven't watched part 1, go back and watch part 1, where you can see the commons, uncommons, and rares being reviewed. So what we just reviewed today was the super rares and the chases. So I encourage you to watch both of those videos, this one and the last one. And thanks, everybody. Don't forget, wake up and smell the Clix.